Let's look into this thing. The Cowboys, if they allow Bobby Wagner to get signed with the Rams, and we got more cap space money than the Rams. Now, Les Snead, brilliant GM over there, he's saying that they're going to do their evaluations and look over everything. And they looking at the tape, but still goes to this right here. If the LA Rams are able to snatch up Bobby Wagner from the Cowboys, this is crazy. Because now we look at everything. Why do you play this game? You play this game to win, right? Not to be pretty as it relates to salary cap and cap space and all of those things. I do know that a lot of things go into play. But Bobby Wagner, I know he's from LA. We understand that. They got a good upside with that aspect because he's from that area. But the Cowboys got to understand, we want Bobby Wagner, not just for his skill set on the field, but we want that brain power, his knowledge of knowing what to do in certain situations. And for those who are out there saying, man, Law, Bobby is washed. Well, you don't have a career high in 170 tackles last season, right? The career high, he never had that before. And he just did that last season. Being washed, you don't do that. And of course, the one interception, one sack, and that's pretty much his average right there anyway. But we know that coverage in as well as playing that Mike is alignment and assignment and flying out to the ball. We want Bobby to help elevate Michael Parsons as well as help elevate the safeties that's on this team as well as the DBs. So this would be a layup for the Cowboys to grab a guy that's already familiar with the system under Dan Quinn, right? He operates as his own agent, and all we heard from the Cowboys reports and Cowboys insiders that basically Dan Quinn been doing all of the talking, all of the communications, so they have not been in a good situation as relates to talking him down. You know, you got to bedazzle him a little bit. Dazzle him with BS too. You got to do that. And the Cowboys have not been doing those small things. Now, granted, we've seen the Rams go all in, right? They continue to make things happen. They went and signed Robinson, the wide receiver. They went and got deals done for the quarterback. They read him up. So they are doing things to make everything comfortable for that particular team. And of course, Ernest Jones, he's going into another year that they can say to themselves, yeah, they want to match him up with another linebacker like a Bobby Wagner. Man, that would be nice for their organization. Especially, I think Aaron Donald said, yeah, he'll come back for another cup of coffee. And the Cowboys are sitting back, chilling. Now, granted, before anybody say, well, this is what the Cowboys do, but how about the Cowboys turn the page and try something different? Will and deal just a little bit. Go get a veteran guy that's understanding and knowledgeable of this particular system and bring him in. There's no harm in that. Now, I do understand that the draft, this is what they really want to do, Cowboy Nation. They really want to wait until after the draft so that they can go into the draft room untainted, right? Without thinking, well, we got this veteran guy and we got this other guy, so we don't want to really weigh in too much on the free agency. And I'm not gonna dog John Stephen Jones on that philosophy, right? Less is more in that type of situation, meaning that you don't want to bring in everybody off the free agency, right, and go into the draft blinded, because they believe in building through the draft. But that less is more philosophy do not present you the ring at the end of the year. You got to go into this thing and say to yourself, yes, less is more, but what about the quality aspect of it? Signing your own guys is good. It's a great, noble thing to do, by the way. That means that you got a level of attrition with your guys. You got a good stable piece with your organization, meaning that, hey, I'm going to keep the guys that put in work over here, so you guys should keep in good favors with us on the back end as relates to team-friendly deals and things like that, right? Who covered you when it was raining, right? Who fed you when you was hungry type of mentality, which is okay. It's very much so okay. But the problem is when you hold tight to those type of things, it come back to bite you when said player that you develop all of those years decide to move on. So that's why you got to be cutthroat with this business, and you got to go out there and make things happen. Now, the Cowboys been known to making some good draft moves. Why? Well, you got Willie McClay. Shout out to Willie. Willie, shout out to you. But this team, in order to get to where we really need to go, you got to get quality, baby. You do. You flat out do. And all of this other stuff is not going to happen if you fool around and play around too long. And then you listen to the news or what have you, and you pick up the reports, and it says star interior linebacker is now gone to the LA Rams. Just like the Von Miller situation. It's not the fact that the Cowboys didn't want to pay the $120 million. It's the fact that you didn't put in the offer. You didn't put in the offer. That's the situation. Who knows? He could have been sitting there saying, okay, I'm willing to play for the Cowboys for XYZ. Right? He could have literally gave you the hometown discount. But if you don't put in the offer, you would never know. And that is, my friend, the problem with the Cowboys organization and the structure. They play it too close to the vest. And we as fans, we are falling right in the mercy seat of the Jones family for them moving around too slowly. And all we got to do is sit back and wait and say, okay, let's wait till the kickoff of the season. And we watch signing after signing after signing of guys that have been on this team already, and we're expecting them to deliver different results. Now, Noah Brown, I'm not throwing any salt or shade at him. Luke Gifford, LVE, even the punt kicker, I'm not throwing any shade or salt at these boys, right? But come on, man. You could have waited to sign those guys after the draft, right? Put your resources in on a known commodity, on somebody that got some stuff that they got it out of the mud, right? Shout out to J-Ron Curse for getting his bag. But come on, man. We needed J-Ron Curse, right? He was a star player for us last season. I get that. But look at all of the tractions that you guys had to do in order to get him. And then you fool around and said, okay, we're going to sign the punt kicker, right? Okay, we're going to sign Luke Gifford. You're going to sign LVE. That money could have went elsewhere. Basically, that's all I'm saying. And I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. So the Cowboys need to really look into the mirror and say to themselves, all right, if we can't land this guy, or if we can't go land. Now, I know somebody's going to say, hey, Lord, they signed James Washington. Not Denzel, but James. They signed also Dante Fowler. You know, he could be the next rising star. And they read up Dorrance Armstrong. So what are you complaining about? No, I'm just explaining that you had other guys out there that you could have spent a little dollars and got them on this team juxtaposed to those boys. But it is what it is. Shout out to those guys that signed. But man, you talking about crazy moves. If the LA Rams are able to pull this off and sign a Bobby Wagner, and the Cowboys sitting back saying, nah, we doing our due diligence. We're waiting on this, we're waiting on that. We had a strong offer for, well, we had a strong desire for Zadarius Smith, but he went off to Minnesota land. Oh, we had a strong, we doing our due diligence on this guy and that guy, and they go off to other teams because you're waiting too long. And that's the problem, Cowboy Nation. It's crazy how all of this stuff works out, and it goes to the point of us keep saying, yeah, we're doing good with the cap now. We're doing good with the free agency. But it's not good enough because we wait too long. And that, my friend, is a problem. Shout out to Willie McClay and Chris Hall and all of those boys that's going to be on the scouting team. Because, man, we're going to need their help once again. But, man, can you imagine if Dan Quinn can finally get his hands on some caliber players, right? instead of digging through the trash. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. And shout out to Bobby Wags, man, for representing himself. And I hope that he pivot and he double back and say, man, I would rather play for the Cowboys.